We've been taught that rest is something you earn, but what if it's actually how you survive? Today's episode is about rest as resistance, about honoring inner peace in a loud world. Welcome back to AJ's EO Infusions Essential Wellness Podcast with Janice Story. And before we go any further, a gentle reminder that this podcast is for educational and reflection only. It is not medical advice, just a space to slow down, reconnect, and listen inward. So, wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, sitting at work, folding laundry, or resting, take one breath with me. We are going to inhale and hold it and exhale. No forcing, no fixing, just noticing. This week, we're honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., not only for his courage in public, but for the discipline it took to protect his spirit in private. Because here's something that we just don't say enough. Moments don't collapse from lack of passion. They collapse from exhaustion. And many people today aren't burnt out because they don't care. They're burnt out because they deeply care. We're living in systems that really reward depletion. Rest has been mislabeled in our culture, and we've been taught that it's laziness or avoidance or something that you're allowed after everything else is done. But everything meaningful in your life depends on your capacity to rest. When your nervous system is constantly activated, your body just doesn't distinguish between danger and responsibility. Emails feel so urgent. Decisions feel heavy. And small tasks feel very overwhelming. And that's not a motivation problem. That's a regulation problem. Rest is how your body remembers safety. And safety is what allows clarity, compassion, and consistency to return. And Dr. King lived under relentless pressure, threats, criticism, grief, loss, and expectation. And yet he returned again and again and again to prayer, reflection, and stillness. Not because the work wasn't urgent, but because exhaustion distorts discernment. Rest wasn't a retreat, it was preparation. And today, choosing rest is still a form of resistance. Rest resists systems that profit from your burnout. Rest resists the belief that your worth equals your productivity. And rest resists the idea that you must always be proving something. When you rest, you are quietly saying, my body matters, my peace matters, my purpose deserves longevity. And that, my friends, is not weakness, that is leadership. And burnout doesn't always show up dramatically. Sometimes it looks like irritability or numbness or doing all of the right things and everything just feels disconnected on the inside. If this really resonates, I want you to hear this gently. You are not broken, you are tired. And tired systems don't need pressure, they need permission. Permission to slow down, permission to simplify, and permission to choose care that feels doable instead of overwhelming. So this week, instead of asking yourself, how much more can I push? I invite you to ask yourself a different question. What would help me feel steady right now? Maybe that is 5 minutes of quiet before even responding to anyone. Maybe that means going to bed earlier without explaining yourself. Or maybe it's choosing one small ritual that you don't skip, even when your day feels already full. Consistency doesn't come from force, it comes from trust. And trust is where your body learns that rest is allowed. And that's why we talk so much about simple, repeatable rituals here, not because they're trendy, but because repetition creates safety. When care is simple, it becomes sustainable care is what allows you to keep showing up for your work, your family, your calling, and yourself. Rest doesn't mean disengaging from the world. It means engaging from a regulated place because regulated people make better decisions. Rested people communicate more clearly. Peaceful people sustain impact longer, and that's how real change happens. Not through urgency alone, but through endurance. As we move through this week together, let it be your anchor. Rest is not passive, peace is preparation. As we close today, remember this: rest is not something you earn after exhaustion. It's how you stay connected to yourself while you keep going. This week isn't about doing more, it's about noticing where your body is asking for gentleness and honoring that without guilt. As we move towards Feel Good Friday, we'll shift from reflection to embodiment, simple ways to support your nervous system, soften the pace, and let care feel accessible again. Until then, move slowly, breathe deeply, and trust that choosing peace is still progress. And thank you for being here.